One of the things that I've found has helped me out the most in my own spiritual walk is evangelism, sharing and witnessing with people. It's good to read the Bible and to hear God. It's good to pray and to talk to God directly. But one thing that I found that's particularly helpful in my own spiritual walk is working with God through witnessing. I remember recently I was in an airport and I had some Bible tracts with me, some glow tracts in my pocket. And just before I went into the airport, I actually had an opportunity to pray, and I prayed, Lord, help me to have a divine appointment while I'm here. And as I was in line to go through the security thing, you know, where they inspect if you have any bombs, I felt an overwhelming conviction to give a tract to the person standing next to me. Well, I didn't want to do it because I was a little bit uncomfortable, so I kind of shied away from that and ended up ignoring God's promptings there. I put my stuff into the little conveyor belt and got it scanned through the little machine. When I went on the other side, as I was pulling my jacket out of the security bucket, all of a sudden all my glow tracts fell out of my pocket onto the ground. And the woman standing right next to me saw them on the ground and she said, "Glow, what's that?" It was a perfect setup. I just reached down, pulled up a little glow tract and gave it to her and said, "Well, I'll let you take a look for yourself." So there it was a divine appointment. And you know, the more and more that I've actually been passing out literature and doing witnessing, the more and more I realize that evangelism is meant to help us to understand and to believe that God is there working with us for the salvation of other people. And that has just been such a revitalizing thing in my own spiritual life. Now, I also work as a director for a literature distribution program in Central California Conference called GLOW. And I get not only the opportunity to pass the tracts out myself, but I also get the chance to preach in churches and to take church members out door to door and to hear them share with me testimonies about how they've passed out literature and what the Lord has been doing and how it's been affecting their spiritual lives. So when I go to camp meeting, people approach me all the time and they say, "Nelson, listen to this story about how I was afraid, but then I built up the courage and I passed out tracts and this is what happened." It's exciting to hear about those things. One story in particular stands out in my mind. There was a lady who was riding the bus on her way to work one day, and she had her glow tracts in her pockets, when all of a sudden she felt an overwhelming conviction to give a tract to the man sitting next to her. Now, he was a complete stranger, and so she was a little bit afraid to do that. But as the bus came to a stop, she realized, you know, if I don't give this guy a tract right now, I might not ever see him again. And so she mustered up all the courage that she could get. She pulled the tract out of her pocket and she gave it to the guy, expecting the worst. When he took it, he looked at it and he said, "You know, I was just praying that God would give me a sign if he didn't want me to commit suicide. And I think that this is it." Can you imagine how spiritually blessed that woman felt when she passed out that tract? And that's what it's all about. People across the world are getting involved in evangelism, and it is one of the primary ways that God has given us to grow spiritually and to be blessed. Bible study, prayer, and also witnessing and outreach.